The internet never sleeps. But when 6ix9ine went live just after midnight on a random Tuesday, even the trolls fell silent for a second. Because this wasn't his usual trolling energy. No rainbow hair jokes, no flexing stacks of cash, no wild pranks. This time, Tekashi's tone was cold, serious, almost emotional. He leaned into the camera, his eyes locked on the lens. "Y'all don't even know the truth about me and Joe," he said. "I changed Fat Joe. That man wasn't moving like that till I came around. I gave him game, I gave him light. But they'll never admit it." Within minutes, that clip went viral. Hip-hop blogs picked it up before sunrise. Say Cheese, Rap Daily, and The Shade Room all posted the same 30-second snippet, each adding their own spin. Some said 6ix9ine was delusional. Others thought he was hinting at a deeper story, one buried in the messy trenches of fame, loyalty, and industry politics. By noon, blogger 6ix9ine's Fat Joe was trending on X, formerly Twitter. Memes flooded in. Some fans joked that 6ix9ine was trying to rewrite New York history. Others pulled up old footage of 6ix9ine and Fat Joe. Together from 2018, a time when their relationship seemed friendly, even brotherly. But behind the scenes, according to a source close to Joe, things had gone sour long before that live stream. Joe tried to school 6ix9ine, the insider claimed. He told him to chill out with all that beefing online, but Tekashi didn't listen. He took it like Joe was trying to sun him. That's when things shifted. 6ix9ine felt disrespected. The public first saw tension back in early 2019, shortly after Tekashi's infamous RICO case hit headlines. Fat Joe appeared on The Breakfast Club and made a comment that, in hindsight, seemed to light the match. "I told that boy Tekashi," Joe said on air. "These people don't play fair. You're playing with fire. And when it burns everything." It was meant as advice, maybe even a warning, but Tekashi took it as betrayal. A few weeks later, while under house arrest, 6ix9ine went live again. "They all fake," he said. "Joe was acting like a mentor, but the second I got locked, he was the first to talk down on me." That's where the divide started, but no one expected this. Fast forward to 2025, and Tekashi has reinvented himself once again. After a string of Latin hits and a quiet year out of the spotlight, he suddenly returns with this bombshell claim that he changed Fat Joe. Not inspired, not helped, changed him. Fans demanded proof, and Tekashi was ready to provide it. He started posting old DMs between him and Joe, some real, some heavily redacted. One message read, "You gotta move smart, bro. Don't let these labels box you in." Another, supposedly from Joe, said, "You remind me of me when I was wildin'. Don't let it destroy you." 6ix9ine captioned it, "Who was mentoring who?" Within hours, podcasts and commentators jumped in. DJ academics laughed it off. "Man, Tekashi trolling again. Joe been Joe before Tekashi was even born." But another voice, a former engineer who once worked with both rappers, told a different story in a leaked clip. Joe was low-key watching Tekashi's moves heavy back in 2018, he said. After Gummo, Tekashi had the streets and the internet locked. Joe started talking about going viral, changing his rollout, even how he posted. You can't lie, Tekashi did shift the game. That one statement poured gasoline on the fire. Suddenly, what had started as a wild claim began to sound plausible to some. People started comparing Fat Joe's social media before and after 2018. One viral TikTok showed how Joe's captions got more aggressive, his branding more visual, his collabs younger and trendier. "Look at this," the creator said. That's Tekashi energy. Like it or not, Joe adapted. Meanwhile, insiders claimed there were private conversations, heated ones, where Joe allegedly told 6ix9ine to stop dragging his name. One industry friend claimed Joe called him, told him, "Stop playing with my legacy, you're not built for that." Tekashi just laughed and said, "Then tell them the truth, big bro." That same week, a blurry photo leaked 6ix9ine and Fat Joe at a restaurant in Miami from years ago, mid-conversation. The caption, "The night everything changed." Fans dissected that image like detectives. Some said Joe looked annoyed. Others noticed 6ix9ine smiling, leaning back, confident. The photo's timestamp lined up with the period Joe had quietly deleted a few old posts mentioning Tekashi. Coincidence? Maybe. But the internet doesn't believe in coincidences anymore. As the controversy spread, Fat Joe stayed quiet. Completely silent. No statements, no comments, not even subtle likes or reposts. For a man known for his openness and transparency, his silence spoke volumes. Meanwhile, Tekashi doubled down. "Joe don't want to talk because he know I got receipts," he said on another live. "I'm the reason he switched up his style. I brought that young energy back. He was old school till I showed him how to move digital." Fans began to dig deeper, uncovering old interviews, social clips, and behind-the-scenes footage. A resurfaced video from 2018 showed Fat Joe praising Tekashi's hustle. "That kid got the city on fire. He reminded me of myself when I was hungry." At the time, it sounded like support. Now, in 2025, fans were replaying it with new meaning. Was Joe inspired? One fan tweeted. Or influenced? The debate split the hip-hop community in two. Older fans argued that Joe had been a legend since the 90s. No rainbow-haired kid could change him. But younger fans, especially Gen Z TikTokers, insisted that 6ix9ine did impact the culture, and Joe, whether he admitted it or not, adapted to survive. One viral comment summed it up best. 6ix9ine changed the internet version of Joe, not the artist and the persona. Still, others believed this was all a distraction, a PR setup for something bigger. Some speculated Tekashi was gearing up for a documentary or a collab rollout, using controversy as bait. But then, something unexpected happened. A former Terror Squad affiliate dropped a cryptic tweet. "Tekashi ain't lying 100%. There's a story behind that dinner in Miami." That tweet alone reignited everything. Within hours, YouTube channels began dropping exclusive videos. Rumors of an unreleased song between Fat Joe and 6ix9ine started swirling, one that allegedly caused their final fallout. If true, this wasn't just ego. It was about ownership, loyalty, and maybe even money. As one commentator put it, "This ain't just about who changed who. It's about who betrayed who." And that's when things turned personal. The rumor started small, a late-night post from a barely known producer's account, a tweet with just 6 words, that Tekashi x Joe joint was real. Nobody paid attention at first, but a few minutes later, the producer dropped an old photo of a hard drive labeled Joe X Tech 2018, unreleased. That was all it took. Within hours, hip-hop detectives and fan pages went to work. Screenshots flew across Reddit, Discord, and Twitter threads. Someone even claimed to have heard a snippet, 30 seconds of a track that supposedly featured Fat Joe on a hard Bronx-style verse, and Tekashi screaming ad-libs over a drill-inspired beat. By morning, the snippet was everywhere. Grainy, distorted, and probably AI-generated. But that didn't matter. The internet decided it was real. And that changed everything. Because if Fat Joe and Tekashi did have a collaboration, then their friendship wasn't just surface-level clout, it was creative. It meant Tekashi might have been telling the truth all along, that behind the scenes, he really had some influence over Joe's sound and direction. Commentators started to connect dots that had been overlooked for years. Back in 2018, right before Tekashi's arrest, Fat Joe had teased that he was experimenting with younger producers and new flows. In one podcast clip, he even said, "The youth inspire me. I gotta stay fresh, stay relevant." Now fans were replaying that line in a whole new light. Was that inspiration coming from 6ix9ine? An alleged studio engineer stepped forward, speaking anonymously to a YouTube gossip page. Joe wasn't planning to drop that song. He didn't like how Tekashi moved. But I remember Tekashi showing him how to use TikTok promo, how to tease songs online. Joe was curious, man. He was asking questions, taking notes. That was the start of it. According to this engineer, Joe was fascinated, not by 6ix9ine's lyrics or antics, but by how effortlessly he dominated attention. He told Joe, "This is the new marketing. It's not about radio, it's about controversy." If that's true, Tekashi might have passed on more than just clout. He may have taught a veteran how to navigate a digital age where outrage sells faster than albums. But here's where things turned ugly. Apparently, after the track was recorded, the two had a falling out, allegedly over ownership. Tekashi wanted to release it as a single under his label. Joe wanted to keep it for his own project. Both refused to compromise. That's when the betrayal began. According to one insider, Tekashi felt Fat Joe ghosted him after the recording, calls unanswered. Texts ignored. And when Joe later went public warning Tekashi to stay away from the streets, it felt like a slap in the face. Tekashi felt like Joe used him, said the insider. He gave Joe the formula, Energy, controversy, social media plays, and Joe took that and ran with it, pretending he didn't learn it from nobody. Meanwhile, Fat Joe's camp painted a very different story. One anonymous Terror Squad affiliate said Joe tried to help him, but Tekashi was reckless. He didn't listen. So when he got locked up, Joe backed away to protect himself. Locked up, it wasn't betrayal, it was self-preservation. Whatever the truth was, that one unreleased track became the symbol of everything that went wrong between them. When fans began demanding the full version, Tekashi fanned the flames. On his Instagram story, he posted a cryptic line, "They can't drop what I made." Minutes later, he deleted it, but screenshots spread instantly. Now, the question wasn't just did Tekashi change Fat Joe? It was did Fat Joe steal Tekashi's formula and bury their collab to erase the evidence? The conspiracy snowballed. YouTubers began uploading timeline breakdowns, tracing Joe's social media habits, marketing style, and energy before and after his rumored friendship with Tekashi. Some even claimed Joe's viral 2019 comeback record, Yes, featuring Cardi B and Anuel AA, carried traces of Tekashi's influence. The loud, colorful aesthetic. The over-the-top Latin trap energy. The brashness. It all suddenly looked familiar. Then came the bombshell. A leaked voice memo allegedly from 6ix9ine himself, sent to a close associate. In it, Tekashi can be heard saying, "He switched up on me, bro. Took my style, took my energy, then tried to act like I never existed." But they gon' see. Time always tell. The audio was unverified, but it didn't matter. In the world of hip-hop media, perception is reality. Overnight, the internet crowned it a betrayal story. Commenters called Fat Joe a snake. Others called Tekashi a narcissist looking for sympathy. But the debate only fueled the algorithm further. Every podcast, every YouTube page, every blog post dissected the feud like an unsolved case. Some pointed out that Joe had been unusually quiet since the drama started, refusing interviews, canceling appearances, even turning off comments on his latest post. That silence spoke louder than any denial. Then things escalated again, when an ex-Terror Squad DJ went live and dropped an unexpected revelation. There was a meeting, bro. A private one. Joe, Tekashi, and a couple label heads, they argued. Tekashi walked out mid-conversation. That was the end of it. If true, that meant this wasn't just about music. It was about money, power, and ownership. According to this DJ, the conversation got heated. Tekashi allegedly accused Joe of trying to gatekeep the Bronx scene, while Joe warned him that the internet clout era wouldn't last forever. The two men reportedly clashed over vision, legacy, and respect. That's when Tekashi supposedly delivered one final line before storming out. "You'll remember my name when the youth stop saying yours." And that was it. No public fallout, no direct diss tracks, just quiet resentment that simmered under the surface for years. Until now. In the wake of Tekashi's "I changed Fat Joe" claim, insiders began whispering that this entire situation was rooted in that lost track, the one that never saw daylight. Some claimed Joe ordered it scrapped. Others said the label blocked it over legal disputes. Whatever the truth, fans demanded answers. In a surprising twist, one of Joe's old collaborators subtly addressed the drama on Instagram Live, saying, "Joe ain't the type to steal." But Tekashi did bring new energy to the city. Even Joe can't deny that. That single statement reignited the narrative, not about hate, but about evolution. Maybe, just maybe, 6ix9ine's wild antics and viral chaos did push older artists to adapt. Maybe Fat Joe didn't change because of Tekashi, but because of what Tekashi represented. The next era of hip-hop where views, virality, and noise mattered more than lyrics. Still, Tekashi wasn't backing down. He went live again days later, wearing diamond chains and grinning through the controversy. "They gon' try to spin it, but facts don't lie," he said. "I made the old heads modern. I brought the energy back. I'm the bridge between eras. They just don't want to admit it." That live hit 2 million views in less than 24 hours. Meanwhile, Fat Joe finally appeared in public, not to address Tekashi directly, but during a charity event in New York. A reporter shouted, "What do you think about 6ix9ine saying he changed you?" Joe paused, looked straight into the camera, and simply said, "God bless that kid." That calm, dismissive tone went viral instantly. Some saw it as maturity. Others saw it as quiet rage, the kind of controlled response that hides deeper frustration. The streets were divided. Fans couldn't agree on what to believe. And then, as if fate couldn't resist twisting the knife one more time, another clip surfaced. This time, from a 2018 recording session. The camera pans across a studio, and there they are, Fat Joe and Tekashi in the same room, nodding their heads to a heavy beat. The caption read, "The collab they don't want you to hear." The video's authenticity was debated endlessly, but one thing was clear: this feud wasn't over. Because if that footage was real, then 6ix9ine's claim wasn't just trolling anymore. It was the start of something deeper, a cold war in the Bronx between legacy and controversy, between the old guard and the new. And as one insider whispered at the end of a recent podcast, that wasn't the last time they talked. The next conversation wasn't friendly when Fat Joe finally broke his silence with just 3 words. God bless that kid. The internet lost its mind. It was the calmest, most passive-aggressive response hip-hop had seen in years. Some fans called it classy. Others said it was a warning shot disguised as prayer. But behind that calm exterior, sources close to Joe claimed there was fire brewing beneath the surface. According to one longtime Terror Squad associate, Joe was furious, not because of the claim itself, but because 6ix9ine was dragging his legacy into question. "Joe's a Bronx legend," the associate said. "You can't rewrite that." Tekashi playing dangerous games. When you start touching legacy, you touching a man's pride. And legacy was everything to Fat Joe. For over 2 decades, he'd built his name on loyalty, brotherhood, and respect. Principles that stood in direct contrast to 6ix9ine's public image. To many, Tekashi was chaos personified, loud, unpredictable, always one viral meltdown away from destruction. Joe, on the other hand, was a symbol of survival, someone who had seen the streets, grown past them, and become a respected voice in hip-hop. So when Tekashi went online claiming he changed Joe, the older rapper reportedly felt humiliated. According to one industry insider, Joe immediately began reaching out to key media contacts. He wanted to make sure people knew the truth, the insider said. Not through drama, but through presence. He wanted to remind the culture who he is, without ever saying Tekashi's name again. That's when things got strategic. Within a week of Tekashi's viral claim, Fat Joe started making moves. Quiet ones? He appeared on Drink Champs, but producers noticed he kept steering the conversation toward integrity in the culture. He said lines like, "You can't let these internet cats rewrite history, and respect don't come from followers. It comes from time served." Every quote hit like a subliminal shot, calm, precise, deadly. And then came the collaborations. Out of nowhere, Joe was suddenly spotted in the studio with new generation rappers like Ice Spice, K-Flock, and B-Lovey, all younger Bronx stars with massive Gen Z followings. To fans, it looked like Joe was proving a point. He didn't need Tekashi to stay relevant. "Joe's a strategist," said a close friend of the rapper. "He ain't gonna argue online. He gonna outlast you. He knows how to play chess in silence." Meanwhile, Tekashi was doing the opposite. His Instagram lives became more aggressive, his tone more personal. "I see old heads trying to act cool again," he said in one stream, eyes blazing. "They was clowning me, now they using my energy. It's crazy." In that same live stream, Tekashi hinted that Fat Joe was running scared because the truth was about to come out. Then, late one night, an unverified document began circulating, an alleged industry email leak that mentioned a legal notice regarding an unreleased collaboration. The document was partially blurred, but fans swore they saw Joe's management name on it. Coincidence? Maybe, but online coincidence is fuel. TikTok creators began theorizing that Fat Joe was trying to block the leaked track from surfacing legally, not because of money, but because of optics. "If that song drops," one viral clip explained, "people will hear Tekashi's fingerprints all over Joe's delivery. That's why he wants it buried." That theory spread faster than any fact ever could. Podcasts like Candidly Cassie and Rap Daily picked it up, calling it a generational culture clash in real time. Cassie herself said on air, "This is more than beef. This is a war between eras." Tekashi represents the chaos of social media fame, and Joe represents the code of the streets. They both changed the game, just in opposite ways. Still, the situation got messier. Because while Joe was quietly rebranding himself as a respected elder, Tekashi was allegedly doing back-channel interviews, giving exclusive voice notes to smaller YouTube channels where he doubled down on his claim. "Joe learned the internet game from me. one clip alleged Tekashi said. Before me, he wasn't even posting memes like that. Now he moving like a content creator. I taught him that. Fans flooded comment sections with debates. Some pulled old footage showing Joe awkwardly using hashtags and skits around 2018, right after his supposed link-up with Tekashi. Coincidence? One user captioned. Or influence? But Joe had allies, powerful ones. Reports began circulating that several veteran artists, including Remy Ma and DJ Khaled, had privately reached out to Joe offering support. They told him not to feed the kid energy, an insider said. Just keep moving like a boss, an insider said. Remy, always loyal to Joe, subtly jumped into the conversation with a single post on X. Clout is temporary, respect is forever. Fans instantly connected the dots. Even though no names were mentioned, everyone knew who she was talking about. Meanwhile, the story took a darker turn when rumors emerged that 6ix9ine was planning to drop the real collab independently. On Instagram, he teased a snippet of a new song with lyrics that seemed to take direct shots. I taught legends how to trend. Now they act brand new. They used to laugh at my drip. Now they copy the view. The post hit over 10 million views in 48 hours. But within a day, it disappeared, deleted, gone. That disappearance sent fans spiraling. Did Fat Joe's lawyers send a cease and desist? Or was Tekashi bluffing from the start? No one knew for sure. But whispers grew louder that something legal was happening behind the scenes. One insider close to a major label executive told Rap Radar, "There's paperwork. There's real money tied to this record. That's why it hasn't surfaced. If it drops, it could expose who really owns what." That single quote reignited everything. The drama was no longer just cultural, it was corporate. Industry figures began taking sides quietly. Some A&Rs claimed Tekashi's digital shockwave was undeniable, and that Joe's team did in fact adjust their strategy after Tekashi's rise. Others dismissed it as coincidence, insisting Joe was too seasoned to need guidance from a kid. But then, something unexpected happened. A new interview clip surfaced from years earlier, one that fans had somehow missed. It was Fat Joe in 2019 talking on Complex. When Tekashi came up, I tried to talk to him, you know? I wanted to guide him. But the truth is, that kid understood the internet in a way I didn't. I can't lie, he had the youth's attention. That's power. The internet exploded. He admitted it. Fans screamed in all caps across Twitter and TikTok. Of course, Joe's words were more nuanced. He was talking about understanding the new generation, not being changed by it. But nuance doesn't go viral. Tekashi reposted the clip with a smirk emoji and the caption, "He said it, not me." At that point, it didn't matter what Joe meant. The internet had made up its mind. For the first time in years, Fat Joe found himself on defense. His team released a short statement through an unnamed source to XXL magazine. Joe has nothing but love for every artist from his city. He's proud of how the culture evolved, but legends don't need validation. It was professional, measured, but it also sounded like an attempt to calm a storm that was spiraling out of control. Because now fans weren't just divided, they were digging deeper. They started connecting other rappers to the narrative, claiming Tekashi's influence stretched beyond Joe. TikToks compared how artists like French Montana, Jim Jones, and even Cardi B had adjusted their branding after Tekashi's viral rise. Whether true or not, the idea had already taken root. Maybe Tekashi had changed the Bronx, and Joe was just the face of that evolution. Still, the tension was far from over. In mid-2025, a leaked snippet began circulating, this time of a Fat Joe diss verse. The lyrics weren't confirmed, but the voice sounded eerily similar. I raised sons who act like they the fathers now, talking like they taught me. Boy, I've been around. The internet froze. If real, it meant Joe had finally broken his silence musically, and the Cold War was about to turn into an open battle. As one popular YouTube commentator put it, we've had tweets, lives, leaks, and silence. But if Joe responds on wax, that's war. And in hip-hop, when words turn to records, there's no going back. Legends act humble but envy loud. They copy colors but deny the crowd. You said bless me. Nah, I bless the sound. The internet went into meltdown mode. What if the track wasn't a diss, but a collaboration? Within hours, a new theory emerged. Maybe Legacy Over Likes was the long-lost collab from 2018, the one everyone thought was buried. Maybe it had been secretly mixed, maybe even finished. and someone inside the industry had leaked it to stir the pot. Blogs ran with the headline, "The song that started it all just leaked, and both voices are on it." Suddenly, everything fans thought they knew flipped upside down. If the leak was real, then Tekashi and Joe had worked together on the same record, and the entire feud might have been built on misunderstanding, ego, or manipulation by people behind the scenes. Even DJ Academics chimed in, "If this joint real, then this whole beef was business. Straight up. Somebody played both sides." Within 48 hours, major platforms took down the track citing copyright claims, confirming one thing: somebody owned it. But neither camp admitted it. That silence became the loudest noise of all. Then, a major hip-hop YouTube page dropped an exclusive interview with an anonymous label exec. Voice distorted, face blurred, they said, "There was a plan in 2018 to roll out a Tekashi x Joe single, high energy, old meets new vibe. But when Tekashi caught his case, the label killed the project. Years later, when Joe tried to repurpose parts of it, Tekashi got offended. That's what all this really is, unfinished business." If true, that meant both men were technically telling the truth. Tekashi did have a hand in influencing Joe's energy, at least during that short time. But Joe's silence wasn't out of fear or guilt. It was because the entire thing was a legal nightmare that neither could touch publicly. Still, that revelation didn't stop the narrative. Because at this point, the feud had taken on a life of its own. It wasn't about Joe or Tekashi anymore, but what they represented. Joe was the code, loyalty, legacy, respect. Tekashi was the chaos, virality, controversy, reinvention. Both claimed to shape the culture. Both were right in their own way. Then, something unexpected happened that stunned the entire hip-hop world. Fat Joe's team posted a new teaser, a slow-motion video of him standing on a Bronx rooftop, city skyline behind him. The caption read, "The truth always comes back home." Fans thought it was a new single, maybe a full response track. But when the release dropped on YouTube, it wasn't music at all. It was a short film. The video, titled "Legacy Overlikes the Conversation," featured Fat Joe sitting in a dimly lit studio, talking directly to the camera. "No chains, no entourage, no bravado, just truth. I ain't beefing with nobody," Joe said. "This culture raised me. I seen the old, I seen the new, but we gotta stop letting the internet make us enemies. Everybody out here got inspired by somebody. That's what hip-hop is. I ain't ashamed to say I learned from the youth, but the youth gotta respect where they came from too." It was real, raw, mature. In less than a day, the video hit 15 million views. Artists like Nas, Cardi B, and even DJ Khaled reposted it, calling it a masterclass in leadership. But 6ix9ine? He wasn't done. He reacted live while watching it, shaking his head, smirking. "That's cute," he said, "but he still never said I was right. That's all I wanted. Acknowledgement." He could have just said it. Then, in a rare moment of vulnerability, Tekashi looked away from the camera and muttered, "I looked up to that man." For a brief second, the mask slipped, and fans saw something real. Disappointment, not rage. Maybe all the noise, the trolling, the claims, were really just a cry for recognition from someone who never felt accepted by the very culture he came from. The comments under that live were filled with shock. "Yo, Tekashi actually sounds hurt." This whole thing was pride, not beef. And for once, the internet wasn't laughing. Days later, Joe posted one last message to his Instagram. "No hate in my heart. Just history." That line closed the book, for now. Because even though no one ever confirmed the truth about the leaked song, one thing became clear. Both men had shaped each other in ways neither would publicly admit. Joe had given Tekashi validation by acknowledging him once. Tekashi had given Joe visibility with a younger audience by challenging him now. Two different generations bound by ego, pride, and legacy, forever tied together in the chaotic story of hip-hop. As one viral TikTok creator perfectly summarized it, Fat Joe built the bridge. Tekashi set it on fire, but either way, they both made people look. And that's what the culture's really about: attention, impact, and the stories that keep us talking long after the beat fades out. So now the question is, who really changed who? Did 6ix9ine actually influence Fat Joe's modern-day persona, his social media presence, his digital strategy, his youthful collaborations? Or was it the other way around? Fat Joe mentoring Tekashi and showing him how to survive the chaos he created? The The truth might never be black and white. Maybe it's both. What we do know is this. The drama between Tekashi 6ix9ine and Fat Joe reminded everyone that hip-hop isn't just about beats and rhymes anymore. It's about legacy, narrative, and how the internet rewrites history in real time. Whether you think Tekashi's claim was pure delusion or a rare glimpse of truth, one thing's undeniable: he forced the world to talk about Fat Joe again. And Fat Joe handled it like a general, silent, strategic, and unbothered. But we can't ignore how deep the emotions ran here. Pride, mentorship, betrayal, admiration. Two men from the Bronx, two different eras, colliding in a digital world where perception becomes reality overnight. And now, it's your turn. Do you believe Tekashi really changed Fat Joe? Or is this just another masterclass in clout marketing? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're reading every single one. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more wild hip-hop breakdowns, and turn on those notifications, because this story, it's far from over. If the leaks are true, that legacy over likes record still exists, and when it drops, it might just change everything we thought we knew about both of them. Until then, this is your source for real mixed fake news, where facts meet drama and the truth is always up for debate. Stay tuned.